Hi, I'm Adriana Garcia and I'm in class 3307, Deviance and Social Control. Today I will be covering the labeling theory. What is labeling theory? A version of symbolic interactionism, a collective action involving more than one person's act, which focuses on the interaction of deviant and other conventional people around. According to the labeling theory, we should not focus on the deviant person alone, but rather than on the interaction between the supposed deviant and other conventional people. Labels. According to labeling theorists, people who represent the forces of law and order, as well as conventional morality, typically apply the deviant label to those who have allegedly violated that law and morality. Here are some examples of labelers and the labeled. Consequences for labeling. Once people are labeled deviant, they are more likely to see themselves as deviant, leading them to continue a so-called deviant behavior. Consequences for the labeler. Positively provides the conventional members of society a distinction between good and evil. The deviant helps teach the conventional members of society to avoid such acts. Primary versus secondary deviation. Originated by Frank Tenenbaum's two forms of behavior. The first act, which is one considers innocent, but others deem/define it as delinquent. And the second, final act or final behavior, when both parties define the act delinquent. Edwin Lamar made explicit distinction between these two forms of behavior. He called the first one the primary deviation. Lamar sees primary deviance as a matter of value conflict, as a behavior that society defines as deviant, but the performer of that behavior does not. And secondary deviation, when the person actually begins to adopt and internalize the label and see themselves as that deviant person or criminal, gang member, or whatever. Once internalized, the deviant label has potential to form the influences of future deviant behavior. Evaluating label theory through the following concepts. Identity transformation labels can give the deviant a social stigma, which affects how the individual sees themselves and how others treat them. Social exclusion. Rejected from the conventional community, pushing the deviant into further deviant behaviors. And last, power and inequality. Lower class members are seen as deviant compared to higher class members. And this is seen through race, finances, status, and gender. Although label theory gained tremendous popularity among sociologists, it was also criticized by many. For instance, label theory was not able to answer what caused deviance. It did not have enough research to support the labeling. And finally, it cannot support the hidden or powerful deviance because no behavior can be deviant unless labeled as such. Here are some of the authors of, of label theory. Thank you guys. Have a good day.